I'm Jacy from Craft Life, and I'm here today to teach you how to knit a scarf on your rainbow loom. I've had so many requests to teach you all how to do this, so the supplies you'll need to make this are a rainbow loom or a knitting loom, and today I'm going to show you how to do it on your rainbow loom, but if you have a knitting loom, you can follow the same exact steps that I'm going to show you and just do it on your knitting loom. You will also need a rainbow loom hook or a knitting hook, and of course you'll need yarn, and today I'm using this brand, and it is super bulky, but you can use whatever kind of yarn you want to use, but I would recommend using a thick yarn. So please get your supplies and we'll begin. To begin, you want to set up your rainbow loom. So what you want to do is you're going to take out the middle row, and then you're going to turn it over and take out the base piece. And if you are using a knitting loom, you do not have to worry about this. And I'm also just going to move this over one. And last but not least, you want to make sure that all of your arrows are pointing towards the right. And now we can begin. So when you are starting this, you want to make a slip knot. So to make a slip knot, you're just going to wrap it around your finger like this. So you're just making a loop, and then you're going to pull the yarn from the inside of the loop like that, and you'll make a slip knot. So now once you have your slip knot, you're going to place it on this peg, and you can just make it tight. Don't make it too tight. This is the part where you can decide how wide you want your scarf to be, and I'm going to make mine 8 pegs wide, but you can make yours as wide as you want it to be. So now once we have our slip knot on our peg, we're just going to come back around the peg in front of it like that, and then you're going to go in front of the peg that was next to our slip knot peg and wrap it around. You do not want to wrap it too tight either. And we're just going to go back and forth like this. So wrap it around. Wrap it around. And you might want to pull some yarn out of your ball of yarn before you do this. And you're just going to go down and continue this. So now this is my 8th peg, and I'm just gonna wrap it around, and make sure all of your yarn is pushed down. And now you're just gonna come back like this, wrap it around, and just follow the same path. So now we're just going to go around this peg like that. And I just want to show you that this peg is not going to get wrapped this time. And then the next time around, this peg over here is not going to get wrapped. So now you can wrap it on the peg next to it, just to hold it while you bring your bottom loops over the top. But you're just going to start. And actually, I'm going to use my rainbow loom hook. And you're just going to bring your bottom loops over. And now you can take it off once you have finished this peg. And I just want to tell you that it is okay for your loops to be very loose. Mine are very loose, and that's okay because they are going to get pulled down at the end. So now we're just gonna continue our path again, and remember, like I said before, this peg is not gonna get wrapped this time. And again, go around. And now our other peg that wasn't wrapped the last time is going to get wrapped this time. And I'm just gonna hold this with my finger, and I'm gonna bring my bottom loop over the top on that peg, and then I can do the rest of them. So just bring it over and go down. So now you want to push this down, and as you can see, I have my slip knot loop here. So I'm just going to push this down so I can pull it through the bottom. And for the rest of your rows, you're just going to continue what we've been doing. And remember, on these two pegs, they're going to switch every time. One's going to get wrapped and then the other isn't, and then they'll switch. So this time, this one isn't going to get wrapped. So you're just going to go around and wrap the rest of your pegs. And as you can see, this one was wrapped this time. So now I'm going to grab my hook, and I'm going to bring my bottom loops over on all of my pegs. Now you're going to push this down, and you can kind of start to pull it from the bottom now. And now we're going to do our next row, and this one is not going to get wrapped this time. So you're going to hold your yarn with your fingers, and you're going to grab your hook and bring your bottom loops over the top. Now you can just pull it from the bottom, and for the rest of your rows, you are probably going to be able to pull it down every time. And so now we have 4 rows in total, and rows do not really count because you are just making it as long as you want it to be. So you're just going to continue what we have been doing, and you're just going to go down, all the way down. And remember, these two are going to switch off. One is going to get wrapped and the other isn't, and then they're going to switch. So you're just going to continue what we have been doing for as long as you want your scarf to be. You may need to use 2 balls of yarn. So please continue your scarf, and I'll be right back. I just finished up my 1 ball of yarn, and now I'm going to move on to my second. And so for this, I'm just going to show you how to attach my second ball of yarn to the remaining strand that I have here. But I'm just going to want to continue mine because I don't think this is long enough for me. And this may be long enough for you, but I'm just going to continue off mine. So I'm going to take that strand that I have left over, and I'm going to take some yarn from my new ball of yarn. And you want to give yourself some yarn to work with. So when you tie this knot here, so you can make your first one, you just want to pull out some so that you have enough to work with. Then you're going to tie your second knot. And for this knot, it is going to be your final knot, so you want to make it very tight. And you're just going to pull that very tight. And you shouldn't be able to pull at all on your other 2 strands that are connected now. So just try to pull on them, and if they don't move, then you're ready to cut it. But I'm just going to pull one more time. Okay, I think mine is done. And now I'm just going to cut off the ends. And since this knot is so small, you probably won't see it at all when you are knitting. Now you're just going to continue knitting your scarf to the length you want it to be, and yay, you have a new ball of yarn that you can work with. So please continue your scarf and I'll be right back. I just finished knitting my whole scarf and it took me a very long time, and mine is very long and I wanted it that way, but you can make yours as long as you want to make it. And I used 2 balls of yarn. This is my second ball and it's almost out of yarn, just almost. And now I'm going to show you how I'm going to end this. So you probably want to start by ending it on this side with your yarn attached to this peg. And what you want to start by doing is you can use your hook or your fingers, and you're just going to take this loop that is on this peg, and I like to use my fingers for this part, and you're just going to bring it to the peg across from it. Then you're going to bring your bottom loop over the top, and this may be the part where you want to use your hook, like that. And now you can just bring this back to its peg. And now we're going to take our next peg. You're going to grab that one, place it on, and then you can bring your bottom loop over the top and then bring it back to its peg. What I'm doing is I'm just going to take the next loop, bring it to the peg behind it, then I'm going to bring my bottom loop over the top, and then I'm going to put this back on its original peg. Like that, and then you're just going to continue this. So take this loop, the next loop over, bring it to the peg behind it, bring the bottom loop over the top, and bring it back to its original peg. And you're just going to continue this all the way down. So now I'm on my last one, and I'm just going to do what I've been doing. Bring that to that peg, and then bring it over. And I'm just going to leave that loop on for now. And on the other side, I'm going to just cut off some yarn, leave some, maybe about 6 inches or so. And you're just going to cut it. Now you're just going to take your hook, and you're going to stick it through the first loop here, and then the next loop down. So these 2 loops here. Then you're going to take your strand of yarn, and you're just going to pull it through. And then you can also cut off some yarn here. Now you can take this off your loom, and you can tie these 2 together. In a knot like that, and then you can just tuck it in. And since this got all big here, I'm just going to tuck it in with it. Now you can just take your scissors and cut. Like that, and now it is secure. And then on this side, I like to do a little knot since it's just one here by itself. And so for this, I have this loop that it is attached to, that loop right there on the end. And I'm just gonna stick the end through that loop. So it creates another loop. And then I'm gonna stick the end through that loop. And it will all come together in one knot. And that's all I'm gonna do for this side, and then I'm just gonna tuck it in. and then you can just cut it. Now you can just make sure that everything is together, and also on this side, we also have our beginning slip knot, and you may want to tuck that in too. And then I'm just going to cut it. And now you are finished with your scarf. This is what it looks like when it's done and on. And also, I just wanted to tell you that you can make yours as wide or as long as you want it to be. And if you want to make a scarf like this one, it is very wide and it probably would use your whole rainbow loom. And this is the one I showed you how to make today. This was my way of knitting on the rainbow loom, but you may know another way and you can use that way to make this scarf. But I just wanted to share with you my way of doing it. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you make some, I'd love to see them. My Instagram is CraftLifeUSA, so please tag me in a photo. And don't forget to like us on Facebook, put it on Pinterest, and subscribe right here on YouTube. I hope you're living a craft life just like me. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!